blessed Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, y'all. For those who are new here, thanks for coming. I welcome you. My name is Catherine Barnett. I go by Cat Barnett, and this is the Cat Barnett podcast. And I also help women who struggle with confidence in their faith and fitness develop strategies and systems that lead them to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling faithfully. And I hope you all are just doing great this Wednesday. To be back another week is also just a blessing. I love it. And I kind of want to piggyback off of what we talked about last week. So, last week we talked about why it is very important to strengthen resistance train as you get older. But this week I want to talk about the misconceptions and myths that people may have as to why they don't strengthen resistance train. Because I believe that more people are doing it, but there's still those misconceptions out there. And back, a few months ago, I had special guest Tori Barty, who is a Christian trainer, influencer, speaker, podcaster. We also touched base on a little bit of those misconceptions, but I kind of want to go over with you guys some that can hopefully you can get over that can help you start today if you haven't strength or resistance trained. So the first one is that you have to be strong to start. Strength is developed over time, and you likely won't find yourself getting, dramatically stronger when you first start. And this isn't always the case because everybody is different, as some people's genetics makeup means that they can put muscle mass on very quickly. And some people lift heavier than they should when they first start, and they overdo it out of fear of being judged for using lighter weights. But the truth is, everyone is in the gym for different reasons, right? And you will have experienced and strong people in the gym lifting much lighter weights so that they can recover from injury. Lifting lighter allows them to work on their endurance and conditioning. And they're also still being sensible and listening to their bodies. But lifting lighter weights, there's no shame in that. You're still working your muscles. So it's just always best to stick what works better for you rather than worrying about what others think when you do strength and resistance train. Also, a few things that I think people think is that resistance training is only for athletes. That also isn't true. While strength and resistance training is very important for athletic performance in professional settings, the benefits they enjoy are available to everyone. You're likely not going to be training as much as a professional athlete will be, but the benefits you get are going to ensure that you stay healthier for longer. There are many strength training programs out there that will mimic workouts and sessions done by professional athletes as well, because this gives you a taste of what the best in the world are doing in the gym at a high level and lets you see how accessible the workouts they're doing regularly really are. And the third myth and misconception is that resistance training causes injuries. This also isn't necessarily true. It's important to receive guidance before you take part in strength training. This is because it requires some awareness Sorry, I'm pausing real quick just because I am getting someone that is mowing and doing my lawn. So sorry if it is a little loud. But going back to resistance training causes injuries, it is important to receive guidance before you take part in strength training. This is because it requires some awareness of form around the movement. Lifting weights with your knees turned in, for example, may cause some pain if done repeatedly over a period of time, but it's also about listening to your body. That's not necessarily true that it's going to cause injuries just from you lifting weights at all. Um, the fourth misconception and myth is you can't train if you have a health condition. Now, depending on your condition, physical activity is actually one of the best things you can do for your body. And the most important thing for you to remember is that it's all about adaptation. Instead of stopping your usual workout routine, you might be better served by making a few changes to get the most out of your sessions. For some conditions, more guidance will be needed so that you don't feel unwell when you exercise. So, for example, if you have a cardiac or heart health condition, or just are recovering from following like a cardiac event, you may need supervision and guidance from an exercise psychologist or a physiotherapist or just a level four trained cardiac rehabilitation personal trainer. So you're just going to want to remember that it's key that having a pre existing health condition doesn't typically mean resistance and strength training should be avoided. If you're unsure if you should be doing any resistance training, speak to a GP and just see where is a good place to start for you. Another big one is that I hear the fourth one is resistance training is for skinny people. Shattering this misconception that there are certain types of people who can do resistance training is really important to me. For one, you got to define your definition of skinny because everybody's goal is different. Are you looking to tone your muscles? Are you looking to gain muscle? When you decide that something isn't for you, you dissociate yourself from something that could really benefit you in the long term. So if you'd love to lift weights or try strength training out, focus on the many benefits that it does bring because nothing is stopping you from getting started with some accessible low weight exercise that might just kickstart a real interest in resistance training. Also, the next misconception is that the weight area is for men and men only. Claiming your space in the gym helps build confidence and reinforces the idea that exercise and all forms of training are for everyone. The weights area might be full of men, but if you're a woman, by embracing resistance training as a woman, you can do your bit to change this ratio. So if you feel uncertain about a certain area in the gym, or you feel a little not as confident, and or because you don't know what you're doing, working with a personal trainer or coach is also going to give you the confidence you need to claim your space and make use of all the equipment on offer. I believe the sixth misconception is that, I'll have to go to the gym every day. This is also not true. Um, In between sessions, I recommend moving and trying to be as active as you can in your daily life. This might mean active stretching, Pilates, walking, or doing another form of gentle cardio. I will constantly say don't sleep on walking to get cardio, get your steps in. That's another great form of exercise that is slept on tremendously. And avoid working out in a dedicated fashion every day of the week, as this can lead to overtraining. If you are going to the gym every day, you are more likely to overtrain and not give your body the rest it needs to recover between workouts. So, as growth happens in the rest days when you are recovering, you'll also need to rest certain muscle groups. When we train the same muscle group over and over without rest, that's how we can spike up our risk of injury. So also just be mindful of that. The seventh misconception is that it will make me look bulky. This is a misconception that I hear that from people who are, quite frankly, just misinformed or don't know enough about strength training, because this misconception, stems from the inaccurate idea that lifting weights and putting on muscle will make you look bulky. This false narrative is very harmful because I think it actively dissuades and puts off people who are not interested in potentially adding muscle or size to their physique. The truth is that putting on a significant amount of muscle requires serious work. There needs to be a lot of focus on increasing your calories to also match the level of work you are doing. And it isn't easy to do that. So many fitness professionals go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week to lift weights and do not consider themselves to be, you know, overly muscular. So if you're concerned about adding muscle, understand that it is not easy, and focus on just building strength and meeting the goals you've set for yourself. Because honestly, most of the time, you have to take steroids to build that bulkiness, especially in women. Um, that's why you see bodybuilders, they're on a certain type of um, regimen, a routine, and they're taking steroids to build that muscle. Another misconception is that resistance training can be painful. If you start lifting weights that are too heavy for you, or you're having an intense routine that's too advanced for you, you are more likely to experience some degree of muscle ache or muscle soreness. But this is just because your muscles need time to adapt to a new way of moving and the increased load that they're working through. So if you'd just taken up like running for the first time, you wouldn't try to run a marathon after 2 weeks. You got to start slowly and then gradually increase the intensity of your resistance training. So, some degree of muscle ache or soreness is going to be expected, especially if you're new to strength and resistance training, as this is a sign that you're working the muscles involved in your routine. And this often sets in 24 or 48 hours after a workout. That's why usually after you get done working out, you don't feel it that same day, but that next day and then the following day, or even the third day, you're gonna be sore. So to avoid severe pain and injury, just start slow. Ask a personal trainer, a coach, or a friend with experience about getting started the right way, because starting small and adding weight over time is the best way to start a resistance training program. Once again, if you're hearing any noise in the back, I'm sorry. My uh, lawn is getting mowed right now. So that's why you're experiencing some noise if you're hearing that. But yes, another misconception is that I'll need expensive gym clothes. Like, the way you look and the practicality of what you're wearing are two very different things. If you're wondering what to wear to the gym, to help with your comfort and performance, try lightweight, breathable fabrics that don't restrict movement. I always say wear something you're going to be comfortable in, especially if you're going to be doing squats and a lot of movements, because you don't want to wear something tight um, where you're uncomfortable. Because there's no need to break the bank on gym clothes. I'm gonna repeat that again. There's no need to spend a lot of money on gym clothes, because wearing expensive outfits won't boost performance or give you better results. We're going to the gym to work on ourselves, not necessarily to look cute. But you can look cute while you getting it in, but that's not the main goal, because there are plenty of websites and high stress outlets that offer affordable options for those looking for lower cost gym wear. For women, it's important you wear a good sports bra that gives you support for the movements you are doing. Um, Experts advise going for a high support sports bra when doing cardio or anything that involves high impact. And also choose an outfit that makes you feel confident. This can help you concentrate on your workout and pull your focus away from anxiety in the gym about what you look like or what you're wearing, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look good and feel good, you're gonna perform good. So I have a question coming in that say, I see people putting whey protein in their smoothies or water. Does that help with muscle mass? Also, thanks for that. So that's going to help, um, not necessarily with muscle mass like it can, more so that's going to help you recover from when you're lifting weights to improve your muscle mass. So protein is a way that helps to recover um, from when you're breaking down your muscles. That's a way to replenish your muscle mass. So that's not necessarily so in a sense, it is improving your muscle mass, but it's not going to help like you build more muscle, if that makes sense. And great question, by the way. And then the last resistance or the last misconception and myth that I want to go over for strength and resistance training is that I'm fit so I can avoid resistance training. That's great if you are fit already, but you should continue to stay active and maintain your current activity level. But it is recommended that you include some resistance training to reap the benefits of staying fitter and healthier for longer. For runners, you should supplement your training with activities that will strengthen the muscles around uh, your joints. because this will help prevent injury and even give more health benefits that increase your running performance. So those are I believe those were 10 misconceptions and myths around strength and resistance training. So if you weren't on this live, definitely go back and watch the replay on my YouTube channel so that you can see that there's no reason why um, you shouldn't do strength and resistance training, especially as you get older. That's gonna help with so many things, just in your everyday daily life, help you to improve with. So I hope you guys got value from this, and definitely got the fruit that was in this episode. Definitely tune in for my next episode because I'm going to have another nutrition and just a fitness guru on, but just to hear it from a male's perspective. So this is going to be a great treat. And I'm really excited for next week's episode. So definitely tune in. You're not going to want to miss it. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, but an even greater week. As always, peace, love, and blessings. And I'll catch you guys next week. All right. God bless.